So welcome back to another episode, and the Kim Meister is back once again. And I wanted to make this episode because Kim has done something pretty incredible in a short amount of time. She has finished Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Here's the steelbook, and yeah, I wanted to talk to you about it and ask what you thought of it to the first game. And there's something else that Kim has done as well, which is just ridiculous. And then I'll talk about a couple games I've been playing as well. And guys, what have you been playing? Let us know down below. Okay, you started playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2. What I thought was so funny, I mentioned it in my last video. I said to you, I said, how far in are you? And you're like, oh, not that far. She's like 20 plus hours. And then how long did it take you to finish the second game?
I think around 80 hours.
80 hours, and that's a small amount compared to the first game because you were powering through this game.
I was powering through this one, yeah.
Yeah, so a little bit more. So what are your thoughts on Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was different from the first one. Obviously, they're not actually the same game. What I found very unique about this one is that it's very heavily blade-based.
Right.
Meaning that you have a connection with a live-action weapon.
Right.
So they changed it up from that. That was enjoyable. A little bit weird to get used to, though.
Right, especially like going from the combat in the first game.
Yeah, it still does the automatic combat.
Yes, of
which
course.
is like, okay, thank goodness I'm used to this. Because if you weren't, you'd be like, what's going on with my character? Why is it just attacking without me doing anything?
I remember in the first game you were really confused about. I had to sit with you with the combat and say, just give it some time.
I thought something was wrong with the control. Like
That
it's
it was
just
automatically attacking it on its own.
Yeah, I tried to turn it off.
That's
I didn't know. I didn't know if I did something wrong.
Right. It's kind of like, that's also like Final Fantasy XII's combat. Remember the lines that would go out and all that kind of stuff? And you're like, what's going on? And all that. Kind of similar in that regard. But so how is 2 compared to the first one? Because the first one is a bit of a love letter for you.
It is. I think it's because it was the first introduction that I had to the Xenoblade Chronicles. So that will always hold a special place in my heart.
Mine too, though.
Yeah.
That first game, I've often said, there's something really special about it. It was obviously it was the first one and all that, but the character designs are good. But the story gets crazy.
Yeah,
at the end.
In both they get crazy in the end. They always do a weird twist, and you're like, wow.
So how would you compare the first to the second?
I did enjoy the first one a lot more than the second. I
said that too, and some people, a lot of people I agree with. They'll say that the blades are better.
The blades are better.
They are better in the second one. The designs of the characters are awesome.
Oh yeah, like the blades, you can have like a monster versus like a really cool like character with electronics and stuff. Electricity, sorry.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
Yeah, and you were saying also it was funny in the first game having your party.
Yeah, you had a party of 3, and I thought, okay, that's a little bit crowded on the screen. But this, you have a party of 3. Plus their blades, so you got 6 people running around.
And then when you get into combat, it's absolutely chaotic and stuff like that. I think the second game is a very good game, absolute must-play RPG. But our hearts are still with the first game. Yes. And I talked to some people and they're like, no, it's the blades. And I'm like, yes.
If they had the blades in the first game, that would be pretty unique.
Yeah.
Pretty strange. But no, it had to be with the second game.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to say about the second game?
About the second game is that you are on live Titans now.
Right.
The first one, they were dormant, nothing was happening. But here they are alive. And when you're alive, you do die. So what happens is that it's getting smaller and smaller and the world's fighting for more space in a way, so that was pretty cool. And the story behind the Titans and blades and everything.
A couple of twists at the end too.
Really
and
that.
It does get crazy at the end of that one as well.
Yeah, even the voice acting kind of threw me off at the beginning. It was very strong-willed. I'm like, whoa, that's kind of in your face.
Yeah, the accents are so strong.
What have we here?
I know trees like the back of my hand.
You're like, I remember playing the second game, and I'm like, oh boy, they really went ham and cheese with this in a way, but it still kind of works. It's fine and all of that, and then the funny thing is, and this is where we get into an interesting part of the conversation, is you finish the second game and Kim's like, cool, and Kim's ready just for Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
I came in here and I'm like, guess what? I did it.
Yeah, we're like, oh my God.
We're like, great. And you were talking to your friend Jay.
Yeah, and he's like, well, she's got to finish Torna. And here's the thing. Even I have not played Torna. at all. And I'm like, and a lot of people in the comment section of the last video me and you did talking about it, they're like, well, she's got to play Torna. And I was like, I haven't played Torna. And then so I said, I guess, gee, you got to play Torna. You're like, well, what? Like, what? Another game?
Sometimes I like to have a bit of a break from gaming because when I game, that's why you don't see me for very much because I'm on a hiatus playing video games. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna have a break. I'm gonna do some stuff. You're like, no, you gotta play more.
Yeah, and I felt bad because Kim rushed it through too.
I did.
Usually do all the side quests in this one. You're like,
I did do a lot of the side quests, and one thing I will say about the side quests in this one is that they're very. I don't know, I thought the first one was a lot more funner.
Right.
These ones is like you have to finish this side quest first before you can do this side quest, but it coincides with this side quest, and I'm like, eh.
Yeah, and picking up the orbs bugged you, remember?
Yeah, I hate that. You had to stop, click A, get the orb, yay, then move on. The first one you just kind of ran through and you had fun. It wasn't a stop or a pause.
It had a better flow to it. Had a better flow. So Kim was like, what? And I said, well, I don't know. I said, it's up to you. I never pressure Kim to play video games. Oh no, I gotta play a video game. That'd be terrible.
Oh no.
But oh no, I gotta play video games. But I'm like, well, maybe it's not a long game.
And you said it was prequel.
Well, from everything that I've seen, and I can say that I haven't played it, and so I'm going to get into my bit about this in a bit. I have recommended this game so many times because all of my friends love it. So you start to play it. What are your thoughts on Torna? How many hours in are you?
Ooh, I'm about 15 hours in.
RPG, slaying, machine. It's ridiculous. Something changed, and
something changed. I really enjoyed this one.
I know.
I don't know.
No, and there's another reason too, is because Kim has been playing just on the regular Nintendo Switch, which I still say is.
I love that system.
But we had the OLED, and it's just been kind of sitting there, and I'm like, we should really get into this more. And I know it's a better screen and all that. But we're kind of doing things in life and all that, and busy. And then so I'm like, Kim, like, here, take the OLED, fully sign into it, make your own account, and play Torna on this. I think it's going to be a better experience.
And it was and is. I love it.
I feel so bad because when I saw it running on the OLED, I'm like, why were we not doing this on the OLED before? I mean,
night and day.
It is like night and day if you're playing just in handheld mode.
Yeah.
You know, type of thing. You're playing on TV, you're not see difference, obviously.
Oh, obviously.
But the OLED screen is like, it's pretty something else, especially for Xenoblade.
Oh god, the graphics and everything is so more vibrant.
So more vibrant.
Beautiful.
I know. Oh. So here we gotta say this. What are your thoughts on Torna then? I mean, you got the new screen you're playing with.
I'm enjoying it. I keep saying enjoying it. I love this game more than Xenoblade 2.
Yes.
Why? I think because in Xenoblade 2 it does do some backstory, so you see some clips, but it starts to explain those.
Yeah.
And so you're more familiar with these characters.
This is a prequel.
It's a prequel.
That's what they say. Torna is a prequel to 2. Okay, and so so you know the characters. And
and you feel more closer because you have that backstory, and it's a fun game. I find it more close with all the characters, if that makes sense. I don't know, everybody's a little more closer in this one.
Maybe the writing is a little bit better, you think?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah, for sure.
And what do you think about, is it the exploration? Because I haven't played it, so I want to know, and I'm going to get into it.
The quests are very straightforward. It reminds me of Xenoblade 1, where it's like, here's the quest, go do it. You don't have to do 3 or 5 more things prior to this one, and there you go. That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
And your blades are with you, but you're not collecting other blades.
Right.
You have your blades already, you're set, and you can actually switch, as in they can fight for you.
Wow.
Instead of behind you.
Yeah.
And you just do their actions. This one they can jump in.
Nice.
That I do enjoy, and if they had implemented that in Xenoblade 2, I think it would have been a game changer.
It's kind of one of those things it's almost like in movies and TV shows, every season or whatever in a show usually gets better. And I think
because you're learning from your previous
game. Because
sense.
Chronicles 1, they're building on and number 2.
Oh yeah, you can totally see how they built onto that.
Yes,
for sure.
And then on Torna, it seems like they found this sweet spot.
They did.
And I gotta say, this is so funny. We're sitting in bed last night. Kim is playing on the OLED. I'm playing on the old Switch. And I'm playing Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes here, and I'll talk about that in a second.
Yes.
Here, we're playing it, and here's what I say my bit about Torna. I'm sitting and I'm playing, and I'm like looking over, and I'm like, I was so jealous. I was so jealous.
Why?
Like, the OLED screen is really nice.
It is.
But also, Torna is a fantastic looking
game.
RPG. Like, and I'm like, why am I not playing this? I mean, it's like I'm gonna recommend it I'm saying this from the sidelines looking in.
Yeah.
It looks so good. You're already saying you love it.
I love
I'm
it.
looking in from the sidelines going, this is great stuff.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones I know that I think they just reprinted it
Oh.
and all that. So grab it again. I bought it a couple of years ago and we only got to it now.
It's been sitting there for a couple
Yeah,
of years.
I mean, I know.
Sometimes you hide games from me.
No, I don't. I honestly don't. I knew you'd have to do 2 before you did that. Torna was always one of those ones on my radar, but it's like different things are happening and all that.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that
What are you playing?
I've been playing Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes here, and
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because you're playing Torna that is really taking away from my experience.
Oh.
And I'm playing it last night, and I'm like, it's a good game, but it is, I know I'm so dumb this way. It's a Warriors game.
Yeah.
So you're fighting wave after wave of enemies and all of that kind of stuff. And that's what a Warriors style of game is. That's what they've always been. It happens to me with Grand Theft Auto. I'll play Grand Theft Auto, the newest one, expecting something brand new. And I'm like, wait, is this a Grand Theft Auto game? I'm almost expecting it to be something new and change and all that. And Fire Emblem Warriors is a great Warriors game. I think I was expecting it to be something else. I wanted it to be Torna, and it wasn't. I think I'm gonna take a break from Warriors and go back to Triangle Strategy, a game that I'm really loving and a game I was really getting into, and I think I'm gonna go back to that. That's gonna be my game, and you're gonna continue on Torna. I mean, how far in are you?
I'm almost done.
You're almost done?
Yeah.
Holy
And then what's happening next?
Well, there's a small other game called Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I mean, oh my god. I mean, yeah, and that game looks
What's so
amazing.
funny is that it's summertime. We should be out and about.
Well, hey,
We are.
Can I say this? It's Vancouver,
Yeah, it's
and we are having the cruddiest weather. It's like an October day outside. It's raining right now so much. Like it's outrageous.
Maybe that's why I'm able to game so much.
Yeah, that's what we do in a night because it's so dark and desolate. You know, we've had a few sunny days, but mostly it's not. The weather's not being good.
Yes.
It's actually cold outside right now. It doesn't make any sense. But
That's why we got jackets on.
I know our flight jackets going on. But Torna, I'm saying it again. Super jealous that you're playing that game. I mean, it's like one of those. Do you know what it reminds me of? If I think it reminds me of being at my friend Andrew's place
Oh my
back in
God.
the day and watching him play a game and going, "Oh man, I really want to play that game." That's how I felt last night. I was like, I kept looking at your screen. I'm like, "Hey, just pull the screen."
I
right."
recommend it.
Yeah,
It's really good.
I highly. What would you? Here's the thing. Out of 1, 2, and 3. Oh, sorry. Well, I'd say 1, 2, and Torna. I mean,
Okay.
what would you recommend?
I would have to say, well,
Do you have to play 2 to enjoy Torna?
yeah.
You do. Yeah.
In a way, I think the reason why I enjoy Torna so much is because what I've learned in Xenoblade 2.
Yeah.
So there is a connection there.
Yeah, it's more of a background,
More
right?
of a
So you
background,
you
the
feel
backstory.
comfortable with these
I
characters,
do,
you said.
So you gotta. I'm sorry, you just have to play it. You
Yeah.
gotta play 100 hours each.
I know.
I recommend
you
it.
have to. You have
Two
to.
people do it at the same time.
Yeah, you guys. So guys, tell us what have you been playing, and are you excited about the new Xenoblade Chronicles 3 that's coming out in a couple weeks?
Yep.
We're building up to it here. Kim's really built up to
I'm
here.
ready to go.
Ready to go. Absolutely. So I think we'll call it a day. So, anyways, guys, until next time.